for me to look at ingredients, I see the possibilities. For someone who
Yeah.
doesn't like to cook, I don't want them to feel badly by like, I see nothing, because that's real.
Hmm.
I think take vegetables, a sheet pan. Like, what do you have? This it's easier. Like, what do you have in your kitchen right now?
I got a lot of
Just a
frozen
couple of
vegetables. A lot of frozen vegetables. I got a full spice rack, so I got all the seasonings. I got some frozen salmon and some frozen chicken breast. I got some
things. Okay,
rice.
so like that packet that I was talking about,
Yeah.
you can take your frozen fish, you can take some spices, you can take the frozen vegetables, thaw them first, toss them with the spices, some butter or oil, and put them around that fish and make that packet, put it in your air fryer. That will be a meal. Add a little bit of wine because you probably have that, and that is
I
going to
do.
be delicious.
I do have the wine, Carla.
Well, I think this is a way to stay in touch with people. I think there is a sense of community when there's cooking. There's one thing to break bread together, but here we may not be able to come together and breaking bread, but we can make bread together. So
Mm.
it's an idea of, look, he's cooking in his kitchen, or I'm cooking with a friend in their kitchen, and we're comparing. And because it is a different kitchen and different ingredients, we can have that inspiration. And so I think that it's real. I mean, it's happening live and it's real and it's inspiring. And I think that people want something uplifting and fun to watch. And that's
Hmm.
really why I do it more than anything. Sometimes I actually like just cooking alone. I don't listen to music in the kitchen as much as I love to dance because I like to hear the sounds of the food,
Mm.
but it's also fun to connect with my friends, especially somebody like Billy who loves to cook. And he
And
sang too. Now, I don't mind being sang to when I'm cooking, which was amazing. And you talked about No Kid Hungry, and Gen Youth is raising money for all of those kids who are having to depend on the
mm,
meals from the schools. And I will be cooking with an NFL player. You know who I would love to? I was thinking about this the other day. I would like to cook with Octavia Spencer.
yes.
And, we had cooked together on the Chew.
Hmm.
And she was like, she doesn't cook that much. And I think people are finding that because they're being forced to pay attention to their self care and cooking
Hmm.
is a part of that, that they're like, I'm not so bad at this. And so the last time that she was saying, I don't really cook well, I think I'd like to cook with her. There's something that I've always wanted to do. And I'm self-editing here, when I'm talking. I'm like, okay, wait. Because I'm Enneagram 7, there's so many different things. I always wanted to, but I always wanted to do Audible books. So one of the things that I think I would love to do is to read from cookbooks, like to read
Oh,
the stories. And I think I'm going to have a particular time and just use this time and not, it's sort of cooking, but food in a different way. And so
hmm.
people read cookbooks, and I love reading to people. I love people reading to me. So I think I'm going to read to my followers, like from these cookbooks. I
Yeah.
haven't started it yet. I'm gonna do it today.
Do you have a cookbook that you want to start with?
I may start with mine, but
Okay.
I read through Rachel Ray's cookbook when she turning 50, and she has a lot of wonderful stories in there that I don't think people know about her. And so it was just a great book. And then there is what was the book that I was thinking about? Oh shoot. The Charleston Kitchen.
Mm,
I'm just going to go through my library of cookbooks and pull from them,
I love
And
that.
it also highlights the chefs. So Jessica Harris has like 10 cookbooks. I would love to read from hers because she's such a great storyteller. Although
Mm.
I can't get that voice, I could read like Jessica Harris, and she has that great gravitas of a voice. When I was going to interview Rachel Ray about her cookbook, it was the first cookbook, honestly, that I read from cover to cover. I mean, every single word, every single half cup, everything. Normally, I go through and I look at the cookbook. I'll read, the intro, and I'll look at some of the recipes, but I don't read them all.
Yeah.
Mark Bittman's How to Grill Everything, that was one, but I didn't read every single word.
Mm-mm.
But I do tend to look at the picture to get inspiration without following the recipe unless I
Mm,
am having to cook with them or review the recipe. Do you know what I mean? If I'm
yeah,
reviewing the recipe, I will cook exactly the way that it is done. Yeah, but I think it's a way to get to know people because
yeah.
I mean, I know how I would cook, but let's say Bobby Flay cooks completely differently than I do.
Mhm,
Tanya Hollins, she's a chef out on the West Coast, and she's always talked about lighter soul food. And then I have my book, um, Carla Hall Soul Food Every Day in Celebration, but
mhm.
Tanya might do it very differently. So I want to get to know her through her food. And the way that I can do that if I don't go to a restaurant is to do her recipe the way that she's written it. And the recipe is only a vehicle to just let life happen.
Mhm.
And that's what I plan on doing.